Marc Ostwald is Chief Economist and Global Strategist from ADM Investor Services International. Marc, for those of us who are not pointy-headed economists, UK inflation jumping to 9%. In real terms for families, what does this look like? What does it mean?
Well, if we just take a straight line from the ex-bonus number on average weekly earnings, basically it means their average wages are basically deflating about 4.5% per annum. And that is a big hit on top of the increased taxes that they've got from the increase in national insurance contributions that was put in place as of April. So it's a very uncomfortable situation. And some might say that actually the retail price index, the old one, consumer price measure, which is at 11.1, the highest in 40 years, is perhaps a better reflection of the sort of squeeze that there is on household incomes.
And is it simply too easy to suggest this is all about the invasion of Ukraine? I mean, there are a number of factors, presumably.
Yes, there are a number of factors. We've been living with supply chain difficulties, disruptions, production shortages in pretty much any arena that one can care to think of. We're also going through a period of very bad weather for agricultural goods, which is putting a lot of pressure on food prices. And then with the UK, you also have on top of that the long-term structural problems with its internal infrastructure, the fact that it's also laid waste to a lot of its energy storage capacity for gas. All of these factors come into play within this.
Well, let's just drill down into that a little, if I might, because I think the USA inflation rate is running at 8.3, Germany 7.4, I think, France around about 4.8. Inflation obviously isn't just a UK problem, but we are soaring above those big economy comparisons. Why is that?
Well, that actually has to do with in part it's to do with Brexit, but that's not by any means the whole reason. In part, it's to do with the fact that everyone's competing at the moment for limited amounts of resources. We've been through an age of plenty in the post-Cold War period, and now we've discovered, coming out of the pandemic, that actually we've whittled down our productive capacity, and that is pressuring it and particularly badly in the UK. And it's not been well prepared actually for some of the tail effects of Brexit. So that's probably what's giving it that little extra edge, though if you look across Central and Eastern Europe, inflation is even a lot worse than the UK. It's running between 12 and 14%.
We always like a scapegoat. It's a national pastime. We like someone to blame. The Bank of England's getting a kicking at the moment. The Bank of England Governor Andrew Bailey apparently didn't act fast enough to stem inflation when there were warning signs apparently last year in that booming housing market. Is that criticism fair?
No, I don't think it is fair. I think where it is fair is if we're going to whittle this down to housing costs, which are obviously rising as well, particularly rents. On that front, yes, definitely. They and all the other central banks which have been putting in all this quantitative easing have contributed a lot to the asset price inflation. And as they all start to remove all of this, they'll probably contribute to a lot of the asset price deflation, which seems to be likely to be around the corner.
Marc, good to talk to you. Thank you very much indeed for coming on the programme. Marc Ostwald from ADM Investor Services International, talking to us in London.